Hello, my name is Jessica Watson, and today I'm going to talk to you about organ donation and tissue donation. So, I'm going to start off actually with a personal story. Um, so, this is my dad. His name is Jesus Torres. He was a Chief Petty Officer in the U.S. Navy. Back in 2005, he unfortunately passed away of a heart attack. I was 13 years old, and still to this day, I'm having a little troubles coping with it, but I've had some things along the way happen to me that make it a little bit easier. It was, like I said, it was when I was 13 years old. It was December 3rd of 2005. So I remember that day pretty vividly. I had made, head captain for my cheerleading team that year. So we had a Christmas parade, and then my friend's birthday party was that night. So we finished the Christmas parade, went over to my friend's house to get dressed for the party. My mom calls and she says, "Hey, I'm picking you up." So, I'm 13 years old wanting to go to my friend's birthday party and I can't go. My mom wants to pick me up, so of course I'm mad. I get in the car and she's crying, so I know something bad happened. Because my dad was in the military, if anything bad happened, if mom was telling me something, I always said, "Is dad okay?" So when I got in the car, she was crying and I said, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" She didn't want to tell me. So I said, "Is dad okay?" And she said no. So I knew from that moment that something had happened to him. So of course it was very hard for a long time. But one day and 2 years later, 2 years after that, we kept getting letters from these families that my dad had helped with organ and tissue donation. Of course, he had a heart attack, so he couldn't donate his heart. But overall, other than that, he was a pretty healthy guy. I mean, he was never sick, never had any heart trouble, so it was kind of just something that happened. So he was able to donate some of his organs. And I remember there was one specific letter from this kid who was in high school who somehow burned his arm and needed skin. So my dad was a skin donor. And to think that there's 8 or 9, maybe even more people out there that have some sort of my dad in them is pretty amazing. So to think that just by being an organ and tissue donor, when your loved ones passed away, they're still out there. They're helping so many people, change their lives and live, So, about 22 people die every day just waiting on the transplant list. There's just not enough donors. Just one person can save up to 8 lives and change up to 50 people's lives by donating their tissues and organs. You know, when when you get your driver's license, you're able to check yes or no to be an organ donor. Just by simply doing that, you can change somebody's life. Yes, somebody does unfortunately have to pass away in order for somebody else to live. But to be honest, I mean, death is inevitable. It's going to happen to all of us. So why not be able to change somebody else's life when my time is over? I personally think that if I don't do anything while I'm alive, I would at least want to be able to change somebody's life when I pass away. And you can donate. There's a lot of things you can donate. You can donate your heart, your lungs, your kidneys, your liver, skin for tissues. It's heart valves, bones, tendons, ligaments, skin, corneas. Now they just added it to the transplant list, actually, even hands and faces. I actually saw this one story. This woman's son unfortunately passed away, and he donated his face. And she met this man that got her son's face for the first time, and it was the most beautiful thing to watch. Because even though you don't have your loved ones, somebody's life is changed because of that. So, like I said, for me personally, it changed the way we grieved, and it helped with the grieving process. So, if anything, just go get a little bit more educated on organ donation and understand if you're against it or don't understand it, just go and try to figure it out. You know, try to understand why it's good. It really is. It saves people's lives. And you know, when you or your loved one pass away, yes, it's very hard, you know, but you can save somebody's life. So, um, just like my dad, you can save up to 10 people's lives and it can help the grieving process for that family. So, thank you so much for listening to my story, to my personal story. I really do hope that this changed your mind on organ donation or just educated you a little bit more. So, thank you so much and have a good night.